He's gone from a regular chiropractor, okay, to a disease-specific practice, specializing in autoimmune, which means helping people get their lives back together. He tests specifically on food sensitivity, gut functions, also known as leaky gut, and adrenal and stress testings. He is a chiropractor who has a business that is disease-specific, and he also utilizes disease-specific supplements that target the area where he's working on, whether it's the heart, whether it's the joints, whether it's the liver, whatever it is. So I'd like to present Dr. Michael Valentine to come up and talk about that.
It was kind of interesting because, you know, people think that, okay, you got a thyroid problem, you found out you have a thyroid problem, then of course, you know, you see the, you know, your GP sends you to endocrinologist puts them on the thyroid replacement hormone. The most popular hormone is Synthroid. It's like the grandfather of the thyroid hormone. Unfortunately, these people go on the thyroid hormone, they still feel like crap. They still have problems like brain fog, they still have problems that they're losing their hair, they have problems where they have a lack of motivation. This is a real key, is that motivation, they just don't want to even get up and get out of bed. They're put on antidepressants as a result of this. And the history is kind of interesting because, you know, I could trace back our family history and our genetics. My dad lived to 95, my mother lived to 88, but all her sisters had depression type of problems. All the girls, there were 7 of them. And the rationale, their thyroid was never discovered, that was the underlying problem. So what were they done? They put them on antidepressants. It was so sad to see that. What got me really interested in helping those people with chronic conditions is my cousin developed multiple sclerosis. I went ahead in school and I was going on to get a MS master's degree, and I was doing all kinds of research. Why did he develop multiple sclerosis? Well, do you know what they know what causes multiple sclerosis? Huh? It's an autoimmune disease, but they really know nothing. How can autoimmune diseases really be taken care of as far as medically? Usually corticosteroids. Now, the complications of corticosteroids are devastating. What they do is they eat away at your body. Prednisone. How many people have heard of prednisone? Horrible drug. You're shutting off your body's own system. Well, these adrenal glands that are located above your kidney have multiple functions. They're very small. They're involved in blood sugar regulation. They're involved in production and maintenance of your sex hormones. They're involved in the production of what we call the neurotransmitter, which is your brain chemistry. They're involved in the production of cortisone. What is cortisone? Anybody know? Cortisone. A natural anti-inflammatory. So where does the best pharmacy exist? Within our own bodies. It's a matter of getting your body to work and function the way God intended to do. And that's to heal itself. And that's what chiropractic principle is all about. How many people know that Jack Lane was a chiropractor? How many? A few of you know that. Isn't that sad that here a guy that had such an impact on the health of this country didn't tell the public that he was a chiropractor? It really teed me off because he could have made a substantial difference. Our battle, and what you hear, is that everybody's basically brainwashed. Brainwashed to believe, you know, that chiropractic can hurt you, right? How many people have heard that? Be honest. How many people have heard that? Okay, now, Dr. Mark, your malpractice insurance, right? Everything's based on malpractice insurance as far as, you know, how you might hurt people. Well, guess who has the lowest malpractice insurance of all health professionals? Who does? Huh? Chiropractors do. Chiropractors do. My malpractice insurance is $1,500 a year. Would you say that's cheap, Mark? Huh?
A little bit less than what I pay.
Okay. Yeah, but that's pretty darn cheap, $1,500 a year. That's incredible. So the thing about this is, it's about not being invasive. When we see people like last night, this poor girl, she's got Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid. She's a young gal. She's got diabetes as a consequence of that. What do we know? That if you have one autoimmune disease, you have multiple autoimmune diseases going on in your body, which other glands and organs are being attacked. What glands and organs might be attacked? Brain, spinal cord, nerves, muscles, gut, lungs, all these different things. We have certain barriers in our body. There's 4 barriers in the body. There's a blood-brain barrier, so only certain things get into the brain. There's a lung barrier, there is a gut barrier, and then there's a skin barrier. So if we have a compromise in one of those barriers, boom, we're going gradually. Now guess what? Symptoms are not the first thing to show up. In cancer, what happens many times? Pancreatic cancer. Anybody heard of that, right? That's a devastating cancer. By the time they have it, boom, how long do they have left? 6 months, maybe 3 years. They might put them through this Whipple method, like Steve Jobs, Michael Landon, Steve McQueen, Patrick Swayze, all those individuals gone through. The neat thing is, today we have testing. We have phenomenal testing that tells us that pancreas is not working well, or these glands and organs are not functioning the way they should, so that we can improve these glands and organs, regain the health of the body. Once you have an autoimmune disease, you need to arrest it. Arrest it. Arrest it. What does that mean? I mean, stop it from progressing. Stop it. Rheumatoid arthritis, gout. These are autoimmune diseases, obviously. But there's lupus, everybody's heard of that. You're going to find out that Alzheimer's is an autoimmune disease. That's what you're going to find out, eventually. Multiple sclerosis, autoimmune disease. So I'll open up to questions. I wasn't sure how long I had. Go ahead.
3.5.
3.5, wow. I talk fast.
Affects our immune system.
So many different things, that's why we do the food sensitivity testing. We'll test for gluten. Everybody's heard of this gluten. Well, is it a fad? Is it real? Well, let me tell you something. You know who controls the health of this country? Who controls it?
Monsanto.
Pharmacy. Monsanto. You hit the nail on the head. It's Monsanto. Because here's what happens. You want to watch something. It's Gary Null, PhD, Null. And he does a lot of speaking. He's been fighting for the health of this country for a number of years, trying to wake up America, because it's so sad that what's happening. Monsanto, a lot of these people from Monsanto go on the FDA. FDA says, yeah, let's pass it. Yeah, let's do it. Because it's all about greed now. That's what's taking place. Monsanto has a monopoly on the wheat. They want to make sure that you don't know that is a GMO product. What's GMO? Genetically modified. What have they done? They put the pesticide within the seed. Now, you think your body thinks that's good? Boom, man, you're exploding internally going on. So there's all kinds of gut type of hazards happening, and eventually leaky gut.
Well, I think the biggest thing I come across too is like, can you explain that everybody has a reaction to gluten at some point?
At some point, yeah. I did all the tests.
Like an external symptom.
No. The thing is, it's insidious with gluten. So people think allergy. Well, you have a gluten allergy. If you had a gluten allergy, you would have an immediate reaction. You have an immediate reaction. The problem with gluten, it's insidious. It is a slow developing process. Maybe you're starting to have joint pain. Maybe you're now starting to have a little bit of fatigue. Maybe you're starting to have brain fog. Maybe you're having different things going on that you're not even aware of. You got degeneration. You got osteoarthritis. People think that as you get older, normal aches and pains, as you get older, you should have arthritis. It's not true. I remember x-raying my father at 76 years of age. He didn't have any degeneration at all. It was phenomenal. But what has transpired during that time, everything has been modified. You cannot live today without taking supplements, Juice Plus and other different things. You cannot. Why? Because the food is picked before it's even ripe. There's no nutritional value in anything you're eating. And then you eat pancakes and things like that, God forbid. Boom. Only at work. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. One serving of gluten has a reaction for 6 months. You can't be just occasional. You can't be occasional. It's just that way. So I've been gluten-free for 7 years, okay? And I thought it was a fad, of course, but I did all the testing. And then when I did the testing, I found, son of a gun, I got gluten sensitivity, but I got an autoimmune reaction to that. What's happening? My body's going through all kinds of different changes. Did I want to have multiple sclerosis like my cousin that eventually had a progressive multiple sclerosis? He lost his family, his young wife, his kids, and he died, and probably in his late 40s, early 50s. But you can trace it if you have any genetic predisposition. Parents with diabetes, parents with any dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, you name those degenerative diseases. These are what we call neurodegenerative diseases. What does that mean? The most sensitive organ in your body is your brain. Who in the hell wants to end up with dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, huh?